Let's just go straight into some of the things we're talking about today. The weight that we inherit. I hope it's okay if I start with Egbo, because it seems like he has most of the experience. You're a father now as well. Did you spend time with your father growing up? And what did you pick up from him? What's the good and the bad? Was his presence that effective in your life? And has it shaped you as the man you are today? And will that affect how you are raising your sons?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I was very blessed to have a present father. You know, outside of the fact that he goes to work in the morning, comes back very late in the night. When he's coming back from the office, instead of coming home, you first go and see his cousin in Festac Town. We're living in Satellite then. Okay. Spend time there, come home around 7, 8, eat his eba, and go to sleep. You know, so we didn't get to really interface with him so much, but he was there. And of course, he was fulfilling all his responsibilities and all of that. Okay. You know, so I growing up, or having grown up now, I learned to understand that even having a father that at least he was there. You know, daddy, so your mother could threaten you, okay, when your daddy comes, I'm going to kill it. The fact that there's even a daddy to threaten you with is a blessing on its own. And it also helps in molding you as a man, as a child growing into a man, you know. So women were never, the nature of our being present in our homes is because we're providers. We have to go out, go hustle, although these days it is balanced. Women do, I mean, their fair share of that. But I think for us, it is just expected that we are there, as in they know that there's a father in the house. Yes, it's understood that you have to go out, so you might not be there, you might not be so visible, especially to the child, you understand, but he knows that daddy is there. They can say, my wife can tell my child, okay, if you do that, several times my son will do something and my wife will come here and say, can you do that? Say, I'll be hearing and saying, I'm going to tell your dad. Once you hear, I'm going to tell your daddy. He has already, he's melted already. So the fact that there's a father there, you know, we're not there, but we're there. That's how powerful the presence of a father is. You understand? Because the child knows that daddy is there. Okay, he went to work, but he's going to be back. And if I mess up, if mommy reports me, I'm in trouble. So that helps the psyche of a child. That really helps to set you straight in a lot of ways. So the father doesn't even necessarily have to come and say, is it true that it's just, I don't know if it's psychological or whatever. So that helped me growing up. I think I didn't start interfacing with my father till I really grew up. You understand? I really matured. As a child, I didn't say it was my mom. My mom was a terrorist. You know, because both my parents were teachers. Imagine that. You know, so then my father became a librarian and everything. My mother was the disciplinarian. You know, and those old school slippers, igbale, omorogun kind of discipline, that kind of anything that their hand touched, that kind of thing. You know, but I mean, she needed it because we're all boys, no girls. So to answer the question, I think it helps. It helps, and it really helped me because I mean, you can only give what you have. You cannot give what you don't have. So that's why when I hear cases of men being abusive in their relationships, beating their girlfriends or their wives and everything, I mean that's where they're coming from. That is what they saw growing up. One of the things I took away from my father, he passed on just last year, November 15th. We'll be doing his 1-year remembrance next weekend. One of the things I took away from my dad, and which I say at any given opportunity, is I can never raise my hand to hit a woman. And I got that from my dad. And he would tell us that, look, as long as you have never seen me raise my hand to hit your mother, there is no reason. Where would you say you learned it from for you to hit a woman? And the way one of my junior brothers did that, she wasn't even married to him, it was his girlfriend. And they just had a fight and he slapped her. And Popsi had him arrested. She called police. First said they should first brush him, they now had him. My mom had to call the king because my dad was his next person to the king. He had to call Kabisi. Kabisi had to call my dad. Okay, no problem. He has said and everything. I lie you. He made sure that they arrested him, they brushed him. Wow. That thing, I am 55 years old. I am still talking about it. When my father is gone now, but I still can't imagine myself. I feel that Should I be stupid enough to do that?
Because he's got
this
no
guy,
way.
it is enough for him to come out and wire me one serious.
Before I was about to switch to you, gentlemen, but I wanted to pick your brain on one thing before I switch to them. Is there something that you learned that you understand better now that you're a father and a husband? You didn't really understand it between mommy and daddy, but now that I'm in that position, I get it now.
Yeah, a lot of things. But I think the main thing, which is what I mentioned earlier, is the fact that as fathers we cannot, what makes us present in our homes is the fact that we're fulfilling our responsibilities. That's really what makes a father present. Yeah, that doesn't mean that he's not present for other things and everything. I mean, we make the effort sometimes. Sometimes I just like anytime because once I'm not on set, I'm at home. If I'm not filming for 1 month, I'm in my house. It's just maybe 1 or 2 days. I just feel like just hearing music. I just go to the lounge, just sit down for I go back to my house. But that happens maybe like 3-4 times in a year. So if I'm not working, I'm home. So I try to make the best of that little time that I have with the kids. So it's just once in a while, let me take them to school. And then, because of the nature of my profession, I can't really do some things with them.
Go out to public because you want people to just see.
But I make sure that they really feel my presence.
I like
anytime I'm at home, because I love to cook. I love to cook, as in in fact, the mother hardly does anything when I'm around because I'm a very domesticated man. No.
This guy's an all-round man. With emphasis, let me emphasize now. You can see I talk about his wife and family. He's taking these Lagos girls. He's off. When he's in the lounge on his own, leave him alone.
My mother was a teacher and a caterer. That's a very horrible combination, in case you don't know. So I mean, although we're all boys, but we're all very domesticated. So I take my kids. We go to the market together. We cook together. Whatever they like, mom, it's daddy that will cook. Mommy, they don't even allow her to. They don't want to eat our
Your
food.
home sounds so lovely.
You understand?
Your home sounds so lovely.
Well, thank God, But so I mean, I've just learned the main thing to answer your question is that look, I understand now why. I didn't see my dad as often as I would have wanted to back then, because now the tables have turned. It's now my turn, and my kids are not seeing me as much as they would love to, or as much as I would want them to see me. You understand? So I've understood that as a man, there are certain things, certain sacrifices you make for the family that even when you're making it, they don't even know that you're making the sacrifice for them.
But it's
understand? But it's happening, So we just make the best of whatever little time we have.
I love
to be physically present.
I love that. Now, Andre, I'm going to switch it up a little bit before I get to Dek.
Oh, okay.
Now, we've seen situations and stories where people would tell you that single mothers cannot raise kids the way without the presence of a man in their lives.
Yeah.
I want you to share your thoughts on that. I know you can also share thoughts of the impact your father had on your life and, of course, what you would pass down. But I want you to touch on the fact that what is it about women raising kids on their own that doesn't give that extra thing that a man brings to complete the home cycle?
You see, the truth is, you can't basically say one specific thing. Now, as parents, father and mother, raising a child is difficult, right? Like he stated, you're busy working, but he makes the effort whenever he's available. He's not just available, he's present at that moment. Now, for a single parent, a lady, to raise a child, now the discipline we learned as men now that has impacted how we raise kids. Without that father figure, there's no way that will be present.
That's right.
There's no amount of her being strict to a certain extent that would replicate a father figure. So basically, she's raising a boy, not a man, at the end of the day.
This is the way they talk. Sorry to butt in.
No, go ahead.
But this thing where you they talk is what a lot of women do not get.
Exactly.
Now, to use my ex-wife as an example, any slight opportunity, she's always shouting at the kids, but I'm still the one they fear.
Exactly.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
And if I'm around and they do something, I can count the number of times I actually spank them. But the fact that I come and I say, come here.
That puts a hold on everything.
Or why did you? They are bawling.
Yes.
You understand? So that's just to
to buttress
what you are saying, that it's a natural thing, I believe. I believe it's just a natural thing.
Yes, it is.
It's nature.
Yes.
You can't replicate that.
Yeah.
So however much you think a woman, strong woman, powerful woman, it is just nature. Bro, go on. Sorry.
It's all right. So basically, you're raising a boy. A woman can never raise a man. And that's the truth.
We've heard that.
Yeah.
Okay, now with that said, Dek, permit me to bring you in here. You were raised the way you were raised, which is a little bit slightly different. In terms of a father figure presence.
That's how really very. You were
I knew that our friend was going to be like.
There's certain words I don't want to articulate because there's a little I know about Dek in terms of the way you were raised, the parental influence. I know as the person I know, you came out all right. But what you want to share that experience and tell these guys how you came out okay?
Absolutely. And you know, I'm very happy to share, you know, the knowledge, especially when I meet with people who had the opportunity to, you know, live with both parents together, right? And a lot of people don't understand that there is a clear-cut difference between people who were raised by both parents and people who were raised by
single parent.
By both parents separately.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yes, it's very important to understand.
So that's the unique thing about us raising
so that's what's unique about me, because I was born out of wedlock. My parents were never married.
Whoa.
Yes, my parents were never married. So that's what makes it different. Right? So what is also important to understand, and like he rightly said, you cannot take away the place of a father in the life of a child. It's very important to understand. It is not a derogatory statement. It is just a statement of fact.
Yes, sir.
Now, you mentioned something, sir. You said that your father, your children, I beg your pardon, right? They don't fear their mom. Because she's always screaming, and we know that she's going to scream. That's all she's going to do, and that's it. We're good. But if my father looks at me and tells me, "Come here," I'm in for it. Right?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something very significant about my dad. And this is one of the reasons why my mom even still says it till today, that I actually love my father more than her. But the truth is, I love both of them. But I respect, love, and fear my father. Not fear negatively, but I revere my father.
Yeah.
You know why? My father beat me 3 times throughout his lifetime. Did you hear me?
Yeah.
3 times. You know what it means for a child to remember that I was beaten just 3 times throughout my father's lifetime. The first time my father beat me was when he saw myself and my brother in BYC pants, this white pants. We were playing football outside. I just saw my dad's Mercedes-Benz, you know, the Mercedes-Benz, that E-Class, you know, that white E-Class. I just saw him coming like this. And we ran inside, you know, as children, and we didn't realize that, of course, he had seen us. Right? And my dad beat me with slippers. So even the beating was not the normal, regular, I'll kill you, you know, just, don't do that again, don't do that again. That was it. The second time was, I put my finger under the bonnet of a car, right? And I was just there looking at them. You know, my dad had told me, Dek, you need to move back, right? And I was just there, you know, because I'm fascinated by cars. And we used to have a lot of cars in the house. So I was just, you know, I put my finger there and he tried to close the bonnet. And you know, when he hit the bonnet, it clipped my hand. So I couldn't remove my hand. I was trying to remove my hand. And he slapped me. He said, but I told you to read this. That's the second time. The third time, I think, was when he beats me and my older brother. That was it. All of the other times, my dad kept talking to me. And you know what is very interesting about those conversations is the fact that I can remember vividly all of the things that my dad said. In fact, I remember vividly that when my dad was going to die, I didn't understand the concept of marriage because my parents were never married. So I never thought that I was ever going to marry. I didn't even understand what it meant to be daddy or mommy. I don't understand what it means to be a husband to a wife. I don't know what it entails. My life was never around family. It was, I'm in this house, I'm living in this place for now. I'm going for holiday in this house. I'm in my auntie and my uncle's place. I'm in my cousins and this one's house. You know, I was all over the place. So I never understood what it meant All right? But one thing that I will never forget, which is very important place for a man, is the fact that for every time that I moved to my dad's house, my dad sat me down to teach me certain things that I never learned where my mom was.
Yeah.
Now, hear this. No matter how interesting it was that my mom was actually married to another man,
Okay.
I did not get that message in my mom's house. I got it in my dad's house. And my dad was not married. Yes, my dad maybe had, a couple of people who, he was dating at the time, but I still got that homely lesson from my
him.
dad.
Yeah.
Because my dad kept talking to me. And I remember just shortly before my dad died, my dad said to me that if I was going to marry a woman, that no woman is good. None. He said, just find one that is willing to try. I can never forget in my life. He said, just find one that is willing to try. But that you're going to wait and you're going to find a woman that is good. You will wait for a long time. That's the truth. That's what my dad said before he died. He said, they are not all good.
Yeah.
But just find one that is willing to just try to be good.
With that said,
That was it.
That said, let's move on. Some women are good for certain things. Let's not.
No. I'm not saying that women are bad.
I get where you're coming from.
No. Let me clear the air. I'm not saying that my mom.
You got it,
so let me tell you something. I'm saying the importance of a man's place in a child's life, right? I'm not saying my mom didn't teach me. Look, let me. Okay, so my mom is Yoruba. My mom is Lagosian. She's from Ojo in Lagos, right? And every single Yoruba proverb that I know today is from my mom. Because, like you said, your mom was the Omorugu. My mom was not just the Omorugu. My mom was the television, the video, anything she sees,
Can we move on?
So she taught me a lot. That's the thing.
The funny thing is sometimes we wish the show was longer, but we're almost out of time.
Yeah.
I want to read some comments from social media so far.
There you go.
Let me start off with this one. James from Victoria Island says, it's so good to see Chief Femi Branch. Black Table, you guys are giving us legends back to back. Kemi from Cotton said that. James from VI says, please, I would like to get a free ticket to the play. We'll follow him on socials.
Send me DM.
Yes, so you heard that.
Tell, and let me know it's from the Black Table.
Yes, TVC. James from VI, if it's from the Black Table, send him a DM. He'll hook you up. Just you, but the rest of your family and friends would have to pay.
Yes, sir.
And then, this Lola from Ikeja says, this man still looks good at almost 60. Choi, can he be my sugar daddy?
No. I don't understand.
God, I beg you, please.
My look about I beg you.
Another comment says, I totally agree with Sir Femi, the death penalty straight. Shagun says, I feel fathers make better parents than single mothers. My mom ruined my life.
Whoa,
so Shagun says.
Deep.
This was a very insightful episode. Thank you guys. Fumilayo from Ibadan. Another one says, I have an idea. Can we have different hosts on the show weekly? Gang killed it tonight. Thank you so much. The final one says, deck and lateness, not 5 and 6. But dude always dropping knowledge.
Oh my G.
That's what's up.
We're always dropping knowledge on the Black Table. And a lot of our discussions are always to be continued.
Yes.
And a lot of us we gained so many things from our fathers, and we hope we can impact that into our children as well.
Yeah.
And just let the generations flow and flow and flow. I want to introduce Uncle Femi to something we do. We usually have a toast. We pick any random thing or person or situation to toast to, and then we have what we call just a tip. The tip is just general, brief advice about some of our discussions that we've done today. So we want you to honor us.
I don't understand. Is everything okay?
Do not.
We want you to give us
the tip.
Just the tip.
I actually got that.
Where did you get that?
He's been in the game.
So quick.
He's been in the game. We call it just the tip, but it's very brief advice about what we discussed today. Yeah. So would you do us the honors of giving us tonight's tip? Just the tip, not too much. Just don't go inside too much. Just briefly give us a tip, and then we'll do a toast.
All right. So as one granny told her granddaughter always say, Mama, I say, make Allah put her and say, you could just put the head in, and the mama say, I not allow put head, not get shoot down. If head don't enter, the whole thing don't enter, not get shoot down. So my advice is, let us just try to be present.
Yes, sir.
Be you a single father, be you a father, a complete parent, combo, single mother, just try to be present. Then please listen. Listen to your children. Be friends with them, listen, converse with them, talk to them, come down to their level. Listen to them, talk, because a lot of mishap or things that they've gone through happen because parents don't listen.
Yeah.
Listen. Take an interest in them. Listen. Talk about their day, not just from up there. Come down to their level.
No.
So that's it. Let's just be present. Make the best
All
of our
right.
time.
So tonight we're going to have 2 toasts.
Okay.
One toast is to one of our producers that celebrated her birthday during the week, Okwe. Woo! Celebrated her birthday. And then the final toast is to Uncle Femi, the Ankara committee. Make sure you guys are part of the Ankara committee. The play is happening. Muson.
Yeah.
Muson
Yes, next
week,
weekend.
15, 16.
15, 16.
8:15
so
each day.
a toast to Uncle Femi and the Ankara committee.
Yes, sir.
More grease to your elbows.
Yes, sir.
Grace.
Cheers to you guys.
Come this way,
So I'm
Dad.
just gonna
With your
join
Ankara
in
pants.
with my Ankara.
Yeah.
It is Ankara pants.
Yes, so. Representing.
So I feel like if I don't shake, you will not see it very well.
That's it, right?
So wait.
And that is the black table for tonight. Like Olamide says, the darker the night, the brighter the
You
stars.
already know.
Welcome to November.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.